just tuned in to watch the stream. Just a little update. We are facing some issues with the internet. There might be a slight delay once the lobby gets going, but stay tuned. I don't think it will be more than 4 to 5 minutes. We're trying to get it up and running as quickly as possible. Thank you for your patience. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, it looks like all of our internet issues have been resolved, at least for now. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GT Sport and ODE to Gran Turismo, our tournament giving a proper send off to Gran Turismo and everything that it has stood for. As we are talking right now, the racers are actually out on their way to begin qualifying, and the race format is the same as yesterday. They'll have 10 minutes of qualifying and a 30-minute race. This is the Group A that we're talking about, and I wanted to give you a little bit about those people as well. So at the list that you see is based on the qualifying performance that we had before the tournament actually began. So Sheikh Shabazz with the Nissan GTR, he was blisteringly quick during qualifying. MJK, who's also titled Duki Atma, is in the Toyota Supra. RKV is in the Nissan GTR. Garvit is in the Porsche 911. Then we have Super Bedu in the Nissan GTR as well. Manupuri or MP Tegiswan in the Lexus RCF. Mehul Bose or Pagal Raja Jr. is in the Porsche 911. Shami is in the Nissan GTR as well, followed closely by Fun Anywhere or our very own Aditya Bakshi in the Nissan GTR also. Santosh, who's a very new addition to our group but has been playing Gran Turismo for quite a while, is in the BMW M6, and Dan Lord is in the Jaguar F Type. While we're talking about all of this, the guys are out onto the track. Will bring you the live action very, very soon. Stay tuned. We're just making sure that everybody's out onto the track and there are no issues whatsoever. And we'll have something for you very quickly. All right, folks, it is time to get excited. The top 11 drivers in the country, I would say, taking part in the Group A qualifying challenge, which precedes the race, obviously. So the qualifying decides the grid order for the race. The drivers have 10 minutes to qualify. You can see the time remaining towards the right-hand side of your screen. It's about 6.5 minutes remaining. We have Duki Atma, who is at the top of the charts with a 107.2, which is a blisteringly quick time on the. I think it's the yes, it is the Supra, the Toyota Supra. RKV was trying to get the slipstream out of the Kiatma. He's still at ninth position. He is currently doing a 108.3, with about a 2/10 gap between him and Santosh in eighth position. So let's look at the grid order at least for right now. We have the Kiatma at the top, who just did a 107.2. We have Garvit in second position in the Porsche with a 107.1. Shaz, who has been highly rated in the group, is doing a 107.5, but I think he'll go faster than that. Tegiswan in the Lexus, which is the most different choice that I've seen for this tournament, is a 107.6 in fourth position. And we're looking at Super Vedu right now, who is driving the Nissan GTR as well with a 107.6. So you can see the gap between first to fifth is just 3/10 of a second. I'll even go further, and I think that gap is still minuscule. So on 6th is Supervedu, on 7th is Fun Anywhere, who I think did a 107.7, and Pagal Raja is still out onto the track. He has done a 107.9, closely followed by Santosh, of course, who has done a 108.034 on the BMW M6. So, looking at the chart right now, the gap between first to ninth is just 7.5 tenths. That's 0.747 seconds, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But it doesn't stop there, right? So we go to Shami, who is in the Nissan GTR. He has done a 108.1, and he's just 8 tenths behind Duki Atma in first position. And Dan Lord is about 1.2 seconds. So Dan Lord is, I feel like he's just getting the ropes of that Jaguar, but the Jaguar is super quick off the line. Let's go on board Duki Atma. It looks like he is starting a fast lap. So we'll just stay on board, look at how the lines that he's taking. And right now he's just about 600ths of a second in front of Carveth. So eases into the first right-hander, lets off the brake, lets off the accelerator, brakes a little bit, goes onto the grass just a little bit, but he keeps the composure. Brakes just in time for this very, very slow hairpin, which is a double apex. You have to get a little bit wide, but also stay close to the apexes. And this corner here as well, it has to be a wider entry so you can get a better exit at the end of the corner. So as he goes down towards this left-hand kink, which is a brake, but it's not that much as you would think. You just brake a little bit, you try to cut the corner as much as possible, and it's the same for this one as well. The upcoming corner, the last one before the straight, is a difficult one because it sort of unsettles the car quite a bit. But once you're able to take this properly, you now have the opportunity to go for the straight. But he does not. He goes into the pits. Let's look at Garveth. So Garveth is, I think he's on the hot lap as well. So he brakes just in time, tries to get as close to that apex as he can, as he physically can, without touching the grass, settling his car. And as I'm talking about that, Shaz has gone first with a 106.8, which is a blisteringly quick time. It is a 106.8, unprecedented, and it's about 4 tenths quicker than Duki Atma. That is a crazy time by Shaz. I think he's done for the day. He's just parked his car into the pits now. He doesn't want to go out and do another lap or try to improve on that. So all of the other drivers, I think, are going to be stunned by that time which Shaz has done, which I think it's something that we've not seen even in practice sessions. So these guys, some of these guys, like Garveth and Santosh, are just diving into the pits, getting a new set of tires. So they have fresher tires and low fuel, so they can try and go for a quick hot lap. Fun Anywhere is right here, trying to get the toe off of Tekiswan, but I don't think he's that close. Let's look at Tekiswan as well. So he's in the Lexus. He's in 7th, about 7 tenths behind Shaz, and 107.5, which is not really a good time in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, so we're still we're trying to see if Supervedu might be able to join us back, because it looked like he got disconnected. People familiar with Gran Turismo Sport understand how the lobby issues are, and because of the internet issues that we faced today, it's just me commentating. We could not have Bleb join in remotely. So let me try and see what are the issues that can be fixed while you stay on board. Thank you, Swan. Just a quick update on all the participants. We have had two people who kind of glitched out or out of the lobby, which is something that happens to Gran Turismo Sport lobbies, which we hope that is it's fixed in the next iteration of the game. So what we'll try to do is we will just wait for the qualifying to get over, and we'll do a manual start for those two guys and put them at the back, because I don't think it's a fault of their own or their internet. It's just the game that decided to kick them out. So once the qualifying is over, we'll just stay back for 2 more minutes, and then we'll get the race rolling as soon as we can. But as of right now, Shaz is in position 1, followed closely by Dukhi Atma. RKB is in third with a very good time. Santosh in fourth, which is he's kind of like the dark horse of this entire tournament for sure. And Funnily we're in fifth, MP Tegiswan in sixth. So we'll look at the order once again. And once the order comes back up on the screen, we'll just take a little break for about a minute or so, and we'll get a manual start for the lobby set up. So Tegiswan in 6th, Pagal Raja in 7th, Danlord in 8th, and Shami in 9th. Give us a couple of minutes, we will get this sorted, and we will get back to you guys as soon as possible. Hello everyone. Just wanted to apologize for the delay in the stream. We didn't really face these issues yesterday, but it's better to get these issues out in the open first before the tournament properly starts. So just the first race. I know everybody is waiting to see the on-track action. We'll go live very soon. We're just waiting for some issues to resolve themselves. In the meantime, just enjoy this compilation of pictures that all of the members within the group have taken. Looks like we are finally back looking at what's happening on the race start as well. The qualifying grid order was set. Supervedu and Garvith were put to the back of the grid. We're just waiting for the lights to go out, and we are focusing on Shaz, who gets a kind of like a bad start. Look at Tegison. He is already in fourth position, trying to overtake Shaz, and RKB has jumped into first position as well. He got a blistering start over there. Looking at all of the racers, there's no hint of any incidents, at least for now. Pagal Raja looks like he's glitching out just a little bit. So everybody goes through turn one unscathed. We do not see anything that has happened. The positioning is RKV up at the top. Shaz has dropped down to fourth position. Danlord is in fifth. Supervedu comes up to eighth position. Which I think he and Fanini are just fighting, and Gavit and Supervedu are out there as well. Shami is last, at least for now. So these guys are trying to fight and gain positions in the first lap as well. We'll just stay with them for the action. And once again, I just wanted to apologize to everyone for the delay. I also want to thank you guys for sticking with us as well. Let's go back to RKV, who now has a half-second gap, but the guy behind him, Duki Atma, with the slipstream, is going to have a nice run down to the corner. But doesn't look like the gap is coming down by much. So it looks like RKV did get a good start, but in third position, Tegison is closely followed by Shaz, who is probably looking to get back all of the positions that he lost at the start. Remember, Shaz had a wonderful time of a 106, which is just unheard of in all of the practice sessions and everything that we did leading up to this race as well. And Dan Lord has just a little bit of gap, about 8 tenths. And then these guys at the back, Pagal Raja, Supervedu, Santosh. Santosh actually qualified in a nice position, but yeah, it looks like Pagal Raja has been having some or the other internet issues, so we'll just try to focus on the other drivers for now. So Gran Turismo servers have been acting a little bit weird today. It's not really something new for this game. So I think Pagal Raja will be a huge distraction to all of these guys as well. Up in 11th place is Shami. I don't think he'll be happy with the fact that he's stuck over there. But he's still in the slipstream. He's about 5 seconds behind RKV, but just about 5 tenths behind Garvith on there as well. Duki Atma looks like he's facing some issues here and there. So we might see him get disconnected, but at least for the time being, Tegiswan jumps to second position. He's following RKV. Look at that. We'll go on board RKV and just try to look behind him. Onto his right hand side is we'll just go onto the roof. So Tegiswan has just it looked like for a second he just overtook RKV, but just like half a second maybe. So these guys are still fighting. So this gives the guys at the back, the ones in third, fourth, and fifth, the opportunity to try and catch up as much as they can. Looking at the exit of the last corner, so it's very, very important to get a good exit out of this corner. RKB does that, but then he does not lose Tegiswan in his slipstream. So Tegiswan is going to catch back up, even though the GTR has superb straight line pace. We'll just stay on board RKV. It almost felt like Tegiswan was going for the move there. He might just be staying put for now, because these corners are an active incident zone. Let's just get out of it. Just look at the gap between those two guys. It's just like you could have a piece of paper in between them, and their cars will be that close together. But kudos to the guys. They're fighting, but they're keeping it as respectful as possible. So Duki Atma, okay, looks like the internet issues have been resolved for him, so he's into third. He's been on the third position as well. Shaz is, I think he'll be frustrated with setting such an amazing time for qualifying and then dropping down to fourth position, about 1.2 seconds behind RKV. And I haven't seen much of RKV during the practice sessions, but it looks like he's done his homework. And Duki Atma and Shaz are very, very close. Look at Shaz trying to make a move onto Duki Atma, but he just could not. I think he'll dive back into. No, so it looks like the GTR has tremendous speed. He might be making a move on to this corner. Oh, yes, he does. So Shaz comes back into third position. This is now his time to start going up the places and take what's rightfully his, which is first position. So we'll try and see how long that takes. In the front, Dagiswan is now in first position. Let's look at Supervedu. So he started at the back. He's already into sixth position, about 3 seconds behind Dagiswan. But he wouldn't mind that. Failure to qualify, not because of his issues, but because of GT Sport server issues. So he was able to join back at the end of the grid. As you see, just grazing the wall just a little bit. And yeah, Supervedu and Danlord going at it. Supervedu just lets him go through a little bit, but cuts back onto the inside, the old switcheroo, and takes fifth position. Danlord is right on his heels. He has the slipstream. I think he'll try and make a move as quickly as possible. Let's see if we can see that. So Danlord, no, so he just lifted off just a little bit because he didn't want to go too in. But this corner is very, very difficult to go too wide, because even a little bit of contact and you just either get yourself into the wall or just push the other driver into the wall, and that's just bad news for everybody involved. Alright, Pagal Raja, so looks like his internet has stabilized as well. Garvith is now into 8th position, which, considering that he started dead last, is a good place to be in for now in the Porsche. I think he and Pagal Raja can work together, get close to those guys, and maybe try overtaking them when the situation arises. Santosh, who actually got a very, very good start and had a good qualifying position, he looks like he's made a mistake and dropped down to 9th. Shami comes back up into 10th position, and Fun Anywhere at the end of this group. About 11 seconds behind Tegiswan, and he has to start picking up the pace now. Fun Anywhere has been doing a 113.3, at least he did that in the last lap, and look at Tegiswan, he's doing a 107.9, so that's the gap between the driver in first and the driver in 11th. I'm thinking he just made a mistake. Okay, so we're looking at a move that RKV just made on Shaz. He's going into second position. For a moment, Shaz had overtaken RKV, but he's now back into second. They're going side by side into this left kink. Very, very dangerous to go on there. And the more they keep fighting, the more it invites Duki Atma to get into the action as well. So let's go on board Duki Atma. Look at from his perspective on what's going on in front of him, and this corner just unsettles the car so much. Look at Shaz making a move, literally pushing RKV aside, but the only man who's going to win out of all of this is the Kiatma, because he gets the slipstream from both of these guys now. But the only thing here is that the GTR is rapid in a straight line. It also sounds to me that Duki is probably just taking it easy. He just does not want to overtake right now. He's just trying to save some fuel. And as I say that, Shaz goes into the grass. Now he's gonna have dirty tires. These guys are going 3 wide into the hairpin with the double apex. It is a sight to behold. And Duki Atma is the one who actually comes out on top. This is amazing racing. No incidents, no touching each other, just making sure that everybody goes through unscathed. Let's see if our replay cameras got that. So, okay, so our replay cameras are still set for the start, so maybe we can just look at it a little while. Look at the start that Duki gets off the line, and he just goes and overtakes Shaz. And look at all these guys behind them. RKV gets a very, very good start as well, and look at Duki getting pinched between Shaz and Tegiswan's. RKV is gone. Look at the gap he created. So he takes the first corner nicely. There's some issues with the other guys, but it's mostly just a speed issue. There are not many contacts that I can see over here. So they all went through the first corner unscathed, just forming a single file line, making sure they don't push the other guys into the wall or anything like that. Okay, let's jump back into the live action right now. So look at the lead that Tegiswan has commanded. It's 2.6 seconds. He is doing a 108.1, at least in the last lap. Uh, and RKV is now falling behind. It's about 2.6 seconds. And the real fight is happening here between third, fourth, and fifth. So we'll stay with Super Vedu so that we can get an idea of all the other guys as well, because this is really exciting. All of these guys are trying to be as careful as possible, but they also want to gain as many positions as they can. So jumping on board Super Vedu, he's flashing his lights, letting the other guys know. So it's a GTR versus Supra drag race to the first corner. Now this right-hander is very, very tricky because there's a lot of camber here, so you have to be a little bit more careful. Super Vedu makes a move on Shaz. Way to go, Super Vedu, making that move stick. I'm pretty sure Shaz is going to be mad at that, but there's nothing that he can do. He just left the door wide open. You invite somebody to your home, they're probably gonna show up, right? So Super Vedu takes fourth position. Shaz is now in fifth. There's a bit of a gap between Super Vedu and Dukiatma, which is a 0.6, which is 6/10 of a second. So the slipstream range, at least in this game, is about 7.5 tenths. So if they are anywhere between 0.1 to 0.75 seconds, they get the slipstream. I'll go on board Super Vedu here. Let's see when he tries to chase Dukiatma. So again, it becomes a drag race to the first corner, and Super Vedu wants to make a move. He just has to be a little bit more careful. He's gonna have a little bit of an overspeed, but looking behind him, Shaz is not giving this up. He is trying to make a move as well. So I'm just going to stay on Shaz. Or there's a little bit of a contact between these guys, and they just brush up against the wall. I don't think Shaz is really happy with what's been transpiring. He qualified first, but he's been dropping positions. And the more these guys fight, the more time it gives to Tegiswan to just go off into the distance, and he's doing that. He's superbly consistent, and there's no stopping him for right now. Okay, so current situation: Tegiswan is about 2.2 seconds in front of everybody. Not an issue for him at all. RKV is in second position with about a second between him and Dukiatma, so he doesn't have to worry about the slipstream, at least for now. Dukiatma and Super Vedu, they are just 0.2 seconds apart. So this is going to be a problem for these guys, as I see Shaz goes into the pits. I mean, he does that a little early because I think what he's trying to do here is just to get out of the traffic, because the traffic is slowing him down. So he's trying to play his hand. He's going to play the undercut here. Just go into the pits, come out away from everyone, just set all of his faster laps and try to jump everyone into the pits. And this is a strategy that can work out for him, because while these guys are fighting, they're slowing themselves down as well. And look at Gareth Lotha. Starting from the back, Gareth and Super Vedu, they're now up into fourth and fifth. Provisional fourth and fifth, because we still don't know what happens when the pit window opens and all these guys jump in to get a new set of tires. But this is turning out to be an exciting race, at least for the podium finishes. Looks like Tegiswan is fairly off into the distance, and he's super consistent with that Lexus as well. Okay, so let's go on board Gareth, as he looks like Gareth is going into the pits as well. So I think Gareth has the same idea: jump into the pits, get away from the traffic. And Tegiswan, he goes into the pits as well. And look at the fuel difference between Gareth and Tegiswan there. 10% more. So RKV inherits net P1. Now this is a bold move by Tegiswan also, because there's about 50% in the race done, almost 50%. So it makes sense to change your tires, but then when you come out, you might also come out in traffic. So we'll have to see where Tegiswan comes out. Okay, so he is not into traffic, he's into free air. Shaz is just 2.4 seconds behind him. So you see how much Shaz has gained by pitting just a little bit early. Now, if I make my predictions correctly, I think Shaz is going to jump Supervedu, Dukiatma, and Garvit Loda in the pits. He might even jump RKV, looking at the gap that's between Tegiswan and Shaz. So we'll stay on these guys. We'll look around as well, and once the other guys start to pit, so I'm looking at RKV. Okay, he goes into the pits, and we'll stay with RKV. Or we can stay with Tegiswan for that matter. It looks like he should be able to take net P1, at least for right now. And Shaz, so these guys are coming up into the second last corner. Just take this easily, go through, get a nicer exit, go on to the oval section of the track, and this is where you are quick. You can extract everything from that car. So Shaz just did a 107.9 in the last lap. So it looks like Supervedu is about to jump Shaz on the track. Will it happen? Will it not? It does not. Supervedu stays behind because he clearly does not have the speed while coming out of the pits to challenge Shaz. But he's not that far away. He's just about 0.2 seconds behind him. So just 2/10 between these guys. They're going to start fighting. And look at the strategy that Shaz employed. Pit in early, get away from the traffic, get away from the congestion, and you can start setting your faster laps as well. We're gonna have to stay on these guys as RKV is now back into 4th position, closely followed by Dukiatma. So these guys will have a fight of their own, and RKV is, I think he'll have a hard time understanding what happened there, because he saw Shaz bit early. He saw Manu, who was Tegiswan, bit early as well. So he had to make that call on the next lap because he could not afford to lose much time. But because he did that, he now has Dukiatma right behind him, and RKV jumps in. Okay, so for a moment there it looked like he was jumping into the pits, but he is not. He's just trying to break the toe. Now, Dukiatma comes out. He's right behind RKV. RKV trying to make his car as wide as possible. He's not going to let these guys go. Let's jump on board RKV and look at what's happening there. So he's trying to maintain his lines and making sure that Dukiatma does not overtake him, which is fair play, right? You are entitled to defend your position no matter where you are in the race. But Duki, I don't think he's going to give that up too easily. And Garvit is a little bit behind. He's just watching from the sidelines for now. We'll go on board Duki and we'll go a little bit closer as well, right down to the rear bumper of RKV. So this corner is going to be important, the one coming up. It unsettles the car, so you have to take it a little bit slow, but you also have to get a good enough exit, because if you don't get a good exit onto this corner, you lose a lot of speed. But again, here's the problem. Because Duki is not in the slipstream anymore, and the only guy who's in the slipstream is Garvit. So look at that. Garvit is now almost trying to push Duki away. He's trying to gain some space. There's a little bit of contact between those guys. RKV loses out, and Garvit makes the move stick into 4th position. This is exciting racing. Tegiswan is still out in front. There's nobody challenging him right now. The gap is increasing. Shaz is about 2.2 seconds behind him, with Supervedu about 1.1 seconds behind Shaz. So Shaz has clawed back all the lost positions that he had at the start of the race. But the real race is happening here between 4th, 5th, and 6th. So while these guys go into the final straight, we might want to look at what's happening, because Dukiatma is really close to Garvit, and he might be able to get a nice slipstream outfit. The Supra obviously has better top end speed, so he will have a little bit of a speed boost. But then RKV in the GTR, which is a monster on the straights, so RKV looks like he's getting ever so closer to Dukiatma. I'm not sure if he's planning to make the move or not. Just getting a little bit unsettled. Okay, so these guys just go through there unscathed. No movements, nothing like that. Let's look at Pagal Raja. He is out by himself in 7th position. But Fun Anywhere is very close. For a moment there, I thought Fun Anywhere was farther behind Pagal Raja. But the fight for 7th, 8th, and 9th is also very close. Even 10th right now with Santosh right there. So Santosh and Dan Lord, very goes together. Let's stay with these guys. Look at what these guys are doing with just 10 minutes of the race remaining. Uh, Now is the time to start increasing your pace, start burning a little bit more fuel, see if you can overtake someone and then keep them behind you. Okay, so let's go on board Santosh, or maybe just a little bit more. There we are. So we're on board Santosh. Obviously, he's in the M6, which is known for having a nicer top speed than the Jaguar in which the Danlord is, just in front of him. So we'll try and see if there is a move being made over here. He gets ever so close, but I don't think he's able to make his mind up. Danlord is making his car as wide as possible. He's staying in the middle of the track, but also I feel like the latency, internet latency for Danlord is a little higher, so his car is just moving around unwittingly on the track as well. So I think that's like a nice distraction, at least for Danlord, because that means Santosh cannot decisively make his mind on which part of the track Danlord is going. So look at that, he loses a lot of time. Let's see if we can look at that, or at least try to look at that move once again. So he gets very, very close, Santosh, but then the car from Danlord is just moving around a little bit, so I don't think he's able to make his mind up as to where Danlord is actually going, and he just lets it be. He might try overtaking him onto the straights again. Jumping back into the live action, Santosh is now 4/10 behind Danlord onto the main straight. Do you think he'll make a move now? I cannot wait to find out, but I don't think he's close enough to make that move stick. At least not for right now. Wow, he gets really, really close to Danlord, almost running into the back of him. It's a miracle that Danlord was not pushed out of the track, but I think Santosh is getting frustrated now. He's just not able to overtake Danlord no matter how hard he tries, and that's probably down to all of the latency issues that Danlord might be having today. So I think we're facing a combination of multiple issues and everything. Let's look back at that move. I'll go on board Santosh, and look, he gets a massive speed boost, but Danlord, I think he lifts off, tries to brake a little early. They get very, very close to each other, almost to the point where Santosh could just hit Danlord off, but he just controls the car, make sure that does not happen. Alright, looking at Shami in 11th right now, 27 seconds behind Tegiswan. Not a good look for Shami, but I can understand it's been a frustrating day, so it gets difficult to keep your mind straight. And it looks like he might have made a mistake somewhere, but he's in 11th. He might finish with a single point, but that does not matter. Every point counts today. Alright, Teguson still maintaining that gap. It is an absolutely fantastic drive from him, and an absolutely fantastic livery as well. Just look at that black and blue. I love that color. Going behind him to Shaz, and he spent a lot of time creating this. All of the elements of our logo and our flag, that little blue strip out in the middle with some Indian companies right on there. This looks amazing. It's a sight to behold. Super Vedu has gone for a very, very suave look, I might say, with white and deep blue, just alternating onto the sides of the car. A little bit of a red on there as well. He's about 9/10 behind Shaz right now, so not in the slipstream zone. He has to gain at least a couple of tenths to get into the slipstream zone and see if he can maybe get a speed boost on Shaz as well. Remember, Shaz pitted a couple of laps early, so he will have worse tires towards the end of the race. So I think Super Vedu is probably waiting for that moment to strike. But while we look at that, we also look at Gareth Lotha in the Porsche 911 with this beautiful livery once again. The shapes, as Tom Halford would say. I've just looked at this for over an hour now. We've used that in our promotional pictures everywhere as well. The red wheels and the black and the white just makes it look amazing. Duki Atma, we've used his car in our promotional videos also. It's a very, very shiny, shimmering look with a RKV in 6th, I think he'll be very, very disappointed with what has transpired. I mean, at one point, at least at the start of the race, he was in 1st. He dropped down to 2nd, and as I say that, he makes another mistake. So I think his tires are starting to give out, and I think that'll frustrate him quite a bit. Fun Anywhere is in 7th position, about 6.3 seconds behind RKV. He's going to gain time for a little bit because RKV is now going to be on dirty tires as well. Okay, so RKV with the red and black logo. I've seen this a couple of times. I absolutely love this as well. And Fun Anywhere with the white, orange, and green. Classic Indian flag colors with the blue wheels, the blue chakras, as you might say. And in 8th position is Pagal Raja Jr. Okay, so we have another fight brewing between Pagal and Dan Lord. The game of 8th position, also the game of the latency issues. So we'll stay with Pagal Raja. And look at that, he's trying to break the toe, but then again, because both of these guys in 8th and 9th are facing latency issues, you just cannot predict where the other one will go. So we'll look at Dan Lord as well. Okay, so he gets a little bit close, but that's fine. They just go through there unscathed. I mean, I don't think both of them knew where the other car was. Pagal Raja sees the door was open, just shuts it down, makes sure that Dan Lord just goes for a move. What a brilliant move. Just saw the door open, took his opportunity. But now Pagal Raja is he's trying to follow Dan Lord in the slipstream, but he also has to fend off Santosh, who is right there in his slipstream as well. Credits to Santosh for that wonderful livery as well. He spent a long time making that, and I can understand how difficult it is, especially with the livery editor is trying to create these little elements. All right, so looking at Pagal Raja and Santosh, I think Santosh is dead set for a move right now. They're just going side by side onto the upcoming right-hander, but looks like Santosh has made a move. He's gone ahead of Pagal Raja. He just has to make sure to hit his braking point and just go into the corner gently without going onto the grass. So Santosh makes the move stick. Pagal Raja is now in 10th and last, so I think he'll be frustrated with that as well. Okay, so looks like there has been a change in the lead between Super Vedu and Shaz. I might have to check if our replay camera has caught that, so let's see. Super Vedu makes the move, and yeah, I think he made the move before our replay camera started capturing that, but he moves into 2nd position onto turn 1, which is a good place to make a move, but you have to be very careful while you try to do that. Okay, coming back to the live action, Super Vedu is once again ahead of Shaz in 2nd position, and this is a massive race, driver of the day race for Super Vedu, because he started at the back of the field and has clawed his way up into 2nd position. And here's the best part, Tegiswan is losing time. He was at one point he was almost 3 seconds in front of these guys, but now it's down to just 1.1 seconds. It's down to just 1 second. So the GTR definitely coming into its element, at least towards the end of this race. I'm not really sure if Tegiswan will be able to hold that position. We'll stay with these guys. This is a nice fight that's brewing between 3 of them. Super Vedu is very close to that slipstream window. He was there for about half a second, but then just let it go. But again, you have to remember the GTR has tremendous speed in a straight line, so he's right back. He's right back into the slipstream range. Will he go for a move? I don't think it's that close enough. He's about half a second behind Tegiswan, but that's a worry for Tegiswan as well, because all of that lead that he generated throughout the race has just gone. Okay, so 4 tenths between Tegiswan and Super Vedu. The fight for first position in the last lap. You have to remember, we just have 17 seconds left. So if Super Vedu has to make a move, he has to make the move now. Look at that. He gets very, very close. He has to get a good exit out of this corner, but looks like Tegiswan lost a little bit of time, but he gets a great exit, gets onto the power as early as possible. Super Vedu is close, but he's not. Looks like Tegiswan is the winner for race 1 with Super Vedu just there. Shaz in 3rd, Garvith in 4th. We have Duki Atma in 5th. Brilliant race from him. RKV finishes the race in 6th position. I think he'll be disappointed by what transpired, but nonetheless, it's a good haul of points. Fun Anywhere in 7th. 8th goes to Santosh, which is a very good showing from him as well. Pagaraja takes 9th, and Dan Lord takes 10th in the Jaguar. Looks like Shami exited the race before it finished. I can understand the frustration. You know, it's not that these guys haven't done it before. They've done it countless times, and sometimes you just feel like it's not your day. So I understand Shami's perspective, but the guy right here, MP Tegiswan, wins the race in the Lexus GT3, which I don't think anybody would have predicted. It's a wonderful, wonderful victory for him. He lost a few positions, he gained them back up, and he fended off Super Vedu into the race as well. Alright, so as we come to a close, we'll just go and look at the final classification for the race. Just one last time, just make sure we get all of the data correct. And here we go. So Tegiswan is the one who takes first place in the RCF, which is a big surprise. But considering who he is and the way he drives, he's just amazing. Super Vedu takes 2nd position. Shaz takes 3rd, both of them in the GTR. Garvith in the Porsche takes 4th place, and look at the gap between the first 4 guys. So Super Vedu was just 2/10 behind Tegiswan. Shaz was about a second behind him. Garvith was just 3 seconds behind Tegiswan as well, and Dukhi Atma was just about 5 seconds. So unlike yesterday where we saw a couple of guys get lapped, we did not see that. The top 10 was separated by 26 seconds. The top 5 was separated by just 5.7 seconds. Okay, coming back to the classification, Garvith Lodha in 4th, Dukhi Atma in 5th, RKV in 6th. Fun Anywhere in 7th, Santosh in the M6, and I think this is the first time Santosh is actually racing in a tournament with us. He's in 8th position with the M6 GT3 from BMW, Pagal Raja in the 911 Porsche, and Dan Lord in the F-Type. Considering the fact that Dan Lord got a wonderful start in the beginning of the race, I think he would be a little disappointed. All of the other guys, thank you so much for taking part. This is a decent haul of points for everyone. Remember, it's not just a single race. There are plenty of races coming. To everyone watching, I will see you next week at Laguna Seca, which is going to be another impressive race because it's going to be a battle between tire wear and speed. So the track has a lot of speedy sections. I mean, a couple of speedy sections, but then you have to be very, very gentle on your tires as well. To everybody who has commented onto the chat, I'm really sorry I missed a lot of it because obviously I'm having to do all of this alone. Today we don't have Pleb because we could not get him connected onto the streaming. But I just want to acknowledge all of the people who just stayed with us. I know it has been a long day. What originally was supposed to be just a 40 to 50 minute affair turned into a 1 hour 15-minute thing. So thank you so much for that. I think it maybe turned out to be 1.5 hours almost. So thank you so much for that. I see you guys. I see you, Monk. I see you, Aniket. I see Indian Stig. I see Shebin, and I see Archie, and I see all of you guys. Thank you so much for your messages. Thank you so much for the time that you spent today. We will make sure that we minimize all of this next time. So see you guys next week for the race at Laguna Seca. Until then, it's been Abhishek. Thank you so much. Have a